What's up, everybody? It's Tyler here, and I'm back for another interview. I've got another very special guest on with me. He starred in Sun Records a few years ago. He was on American Idol, and now he's got his debut EP out. Drake Milligan is on with me right now. Drake, it's so great to have you on here. How's everything going?
Oh man, thanks for having me, Tyler. It's going awesome. Going awesome. Got some music out there in the world and ready to get out there and play for people.
Yeah, you've got the 5 brand new songs out. You even wrote a song earlier in the summer that came out back early July for Randall King, a record
Yep.
high. Anybody that's familiar with the honky tonk music, you know that song. It's already a big hit. I mean, you co-wrote that with 2 other writers. You did a great job on it. We'll get to that in a little bit. We'll talk about it.
No,
But you've got the 5 songs out now. Uh, just how great does it feel to be able to have your music out there after all this hard work?
man, it feels good. I've been in Nashville, for probably I think 4 years now. Writing the whole time. I knew I wanted after American Idol, after I, left the show. I just I wanted to come out here and do it right and start from the ground up and learn how to write songs. Uh, I was lucky enough to get to write with some of my favorite, writers that wrote some of my favorite songs for George Strait and Alan Jackson and some of my heroes. So, um, and really I got to come here and learn how to do it right. And it's been kind of a long time coming. So, it feels so good to have these songs out finally and out there in the world.
Uh, you're talking about your heroes like George Strait, Alan Jackson. Now let's talk about a little bit of a getting to know you kind of activity. Now, who are some of your biggest influences in country music?
Yeah, definitely. George Strait and Alan Jackson was big, growing up. A lot of older stuff like Merle Haggard, George Jones. Even being from Texas, I grew up, my dad loves Western swing stuff. So a lot of Bob Wills and even some of Hag's swing stuff that he did. He was such a big Bob Wills fan. And so, I love that stuff too.
Now, I know you're a huge Elvis fan. You
Yeah.
even played him on Sun Records, like we were saying. Now, talk about his influence on your music and just you as an artist.
Man, Elvis, I discovered Elvis when I was really young. And that was kind of the point. I knew I loved music before that, but I didn't know I wanted to be an entertainer. I didn't want to sing music and play on stage until I, discovered Elvis and discovered how great of an entertainer he was, and was inspired by that. And Elvis had a lot of country influence too. I love Elvis's country stuff. His gospel stuff is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my favorite stuff is Elvis's gospel stuff, but um, and just like the early Elvis on, that kind of '50s raw energy, just uh, how just insane he was, back in the day. He was just feeling everything, and bringing all of his influences together. And man, Elvis was the coolest. And it definitely comes out in anything I do. I've studied him for so long. And anytime I'm singing, I'll kind of notice, oh, I picked up this probably from Elvis, or I picked up this kind of move or something, from Elvis. So definitely a lot of influence there.
Now, what was it like to play him on the TV show?
Man, it was a pleasure. We had a great cast, great crew. We all got along. We shot in Memphis, which is awesome. All these got to film inside Humes High, Elvis's high school, and meet some of the people around Elvis, and that knew him and get to know them and get to know their stories about Elvis. And man, I was such a fan before that, but even just through the process of the show, I learned so much about him, and kind of started to look at him in a way that I'd never really, as a fan, dove into of you know, his childhood and how he was feeling about, being 18 and 19 and all of a sudden being the biggest star in the world, uh, and coming from nothing. And then all of a sudden within a year, you're the biggest star in the world. And so that was kind of a side I never really thought about with Elvis, and tried to understand what he was feeling at the time.
Yeah, it really is crazy how big he got so fast. I
Yep.
mean, think of all the fame that he had. He died when he was 42, and he was around forever.
Yep. Yeah, man. Well, and he graduated from high school in '53 and, recorded, I think That's All Right Mama. He recorded maybe it was July of '54, maybe. And then by 1956, he was the biggest star in the world.
Yep.
And so that's pretty fast, and his career, in the long scope of things wasn't that long. He died in 1977. So you're talking about a 20-year career there.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much impact he had, in those 20 years.
Oh, it sure is. Now, like you said, you're back from Texas. That's where you came from. That's your home. You're in Tennessee now. So, what are some of your favorite things to do back home?
Oh man, I love to go fishing. We have some land out in West Texas that we hunt on, a family, and so we go out there and hunt, just spending time outdoors. Go back and golf. Anything I can do outdoors, I love. So that's mainly what I do when I go back home.
Now, since you're in Tennessee, you're in country music now. I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of your favorite sad country songs and some of your favorite love songs. Because I know She is a big love song on your new EP.
Oh yeah. Well, as far as like sad songs go, I love songs that kind of throw you for a whirl, maybe with a happy melody, and then there's really sad.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind is "Just to See You Smile," one of my favorite songs ever written, which has a beautiful melody, dun, 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 and dun, 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 and just that great kind of loping thing. But it's the saddest song ever. It's like this guy that is willing to give up everything just to see her smile. It's like, oh, come on, and he sees her out with another guy, he's like, all right, as long as you're happy. So, man, I love that stuff. Together Again, Buck Owens is one of my favorite songs. That's kind of this, again, a sad melody, but really happy song. I'm talking about, they're together again, it still got that whining steel guitar, and I love songs that kind of throw you for a whirl like that. As far as another sad song, I think one of the best songs ever written is a Hank Cochran song, "Make the World Go Away." A lot of people cut it. I mean, Eddie Arnold cut it, Elvis cut it. It's just to tear your heart out. And Hank Cochran had a way of writing a song using so few words. You look at you, like, you write those lyrics down and you go, man, it's like that big, but it says so much in a song, in a little song like that, which is kind of the magic of some of those older songs, I think.
Now, how about for country love songs? Some of your favorites?
Oh, love songs, man. You can't go wrong with George Strait's love songs. He's got like "Carried Away," "Carrying Your Love with Me." Man, some of those stuff, it's still a sad song, but "You Look So Good in Love" is a amazing, just little two-stepping, great love song. You can't go wrong with some of those, man.
Hey, you did sing "You Look So Good in Love" for American Idol audition.
I did. It's a great song.
It sure is. One of the number ones. One of the many number ones.
One of the 60. That's insane. 60 number ones, man. It's insane.
I don't think anybody's ever going to break that record again. Maybe,
I don't think so, man.
200 years down the road, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't think so, man.
Tough to beat. Now,
yep.
Like we were saying, you're from Texas. I know football is huge out there. And, well, the season's starting pretty soon. Let's start with NFL. Are you a Cowboys fan, Texans, or neither?
Yeah, I like the Cowboys. I have a ton of friends, and as far as like college football goes, too. I mean, I like the Cowboys. I follow them on the NFL. And as far as college football goes, I have a bunch of friends that go to Texas Tech. My brother went there. I was supposed to go there, but I got the role in Sun Records and decided to do that instead. I follow them for college football, but I don't watch a whole lot of NFL. I watch more college ball, man. I just like the intensity of college ball. Those guys are really out there playing.
So since you are a Texas Tech fan and the Big 12 seems to be collapsing, how do you feel about Texas and Oklahoma?
Oh man. Oh, I know. Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting year, man. For sure. But I'm just ready to watch Tech just do their thing, stay their course, play the game, man.
Yes, yeah, totally. It's gonna be a fun season, I think. Man, there's that extra motivation to beat Texas and Oklahoma now.
Yeah, man, totally.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the main questions of the interview, what are some of your dream venues to perform at?
Man, I think probably the top of the list would be, and I grew up going to the Houston Rodeo. Even back in I remember going to the Astrodome. Then they used to have it at the Astrodome next to NRG Stadium. Now it's NRG, man. That would be the dream. yeah, I think would play the rodeo. I just grew up there, going there so many times. Watched some of my favorite artists like Randy Travis and Alan Jackson, and I think that would be the top of the list. I'd also love to play Red Rocks, man. That
Yeah.
place is so cool. Yeah, I'd love to play that place. So probably those two.
Those two great places, honestly. How about, what's one of your favorite memories so far from being in Nashville?
Oh man, there's a ton. I mean, the biggest thing I love about Nashville is the history. You know, that you walk down Music Row, or I'm always if I'm downtown, I just love walking up and down Music Row, just because there's still some of those cool publishing houses there, and you just wonder, man, what kind of history was it? Roger Miller writing here. I wonder. You just think about that stuff. And two, I mean, I think the coolest part for me has been riding with some of these guys that are that are legends. I got to write a little bit with Bill Anderson, and that guy's been around writing songs since the 50s, and he's seen every part of Nashville and been around all these people, and telling great Roger Miller stories, and another thing too, is just getting to be in the studio with these session guys, guys that played on some of my favorite records, guys like Stuart Duncan and Paul Franklin, who played on a lot of my favorite George Strait records, and Alan Jackson too. So it's like, man, and these guys are so good, and above that, just great guys to be around. I mean, studio hangs are great days. Everybody's just happy to be there and playing music. So, yeah, man, just the history of it, and just being a part of it really has been my favorite. Being a part of that music, and more than anything, the guys I write with, the older country guys, writers, or the guys that play steel guitar and fiddle, they're not working as much as they were in the '90s. They're still, I think they're better than they ever have been. They're amazing, and they can do anything. But as far as the genre's kind of taken a little bit of a turn in the last 10 years, and they're not as busy as they used to be. And I don't think quite as appreciated as they should be. So it's cool to be a part of that, and try to, not only, make my career, but, give these guys something to do. And they're always going to be working and always going to be doing great. But, just being a part of that more than anything is cool.
Oh, it sure is. Now, I've got a little prediction. I hope I'm not way off, but I have a feeling they're going to be working a lot again soon.
I think so too, man. I think it's taking a turn. I mean, you got guys like Randall King out there, Cody Johnson, all these guys coming from Texas, man, and carrying those Texas roots are great. And you got guys like John Party, who's kind of carrying that Bakersfield sound, and man, it's just cool. I think it is taking a turn, and I've made this argument for a while. Country, as a whole, there should be an even mix of everything, right? There should be, if there's a ton of pop stuff out there, then there should be a ton of traditional stuff right next to it, just to keep that mix going and give us some identity and uniqueness to the genre. But at the same time, when it does go, really whatever it is, rock influenced or pop influenced, like it has been the last 10 years, you hear stuff like John Party come on the radio, Luke Combs was the same way, Riley Green. You hear these guys on the radio, and those guys go in there and track with a great band, and all of a sudden you hear like drums on a track, and you go, wow, this has life, next to a lot of stuff that is just, beats or loops or what have you. You hear that stuff next to it, and it's all of a sudden new, it's all of a sudden unique. And you have guys like us, even, or guys like you that maybe, didn't grow up listening to country music, and you hear traditional sounds and it's new to you. That's what I tell people. I find myself going back and finding new music, that maybe was from the 50s, but it's new to me and it's cool to me. And so, we're in a time where we have this access to all this music and all these different sounds. And so I just think it's cool to incorporate all that in there.
Oh, it sure is. Like you mentioned, somebody like myself, I didn't grow up listening to country music too often. And this year alone, I've listened to more traditional country music than ever before. Not even.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. It really is. My top 5 artists on Apple Music are all traditional country singers.
Oh, man. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, let's get into your first cut as a songwriter. Right before your EP came out, a couple of weeks before, you had a song released for Randall King. It was record high, and you co-wrote it with two other writers. Describe the excitement of just having your first song out there.
Oh man, it was cool. Well, I wrote it with John Pierce, who I co-wrote "She" and "Don't Look Down" on my EP with. We write really, really well together, and Ronnie Clausen, who's written some of my favorite songs. Just a great staple in Nashville. And we're all three fishermen. We all love fishing, so I don't know how we got a song in that day between all the fishing stories, but we did, man. And it was cool. It's cool that songs like that. I can't, as much as I'd love to, I can't cut every song. All right, and even something like that, that's a great song. But I was glad it found its home. Randall cut it, I think, even better than I would. So, man, it's just cool to know that those songs like that have a home, and to kind of be feel like a songwriter now, or feel like a real songwriter, because I'm getting songs cut, and it's cool, man. It's really cool.
I mean, it sure is a great song, and it's got a great beat to it. I know that.
Yeah, man. It's honky tonk, and it's really barn burning, man. It's fun.
It is. We need more of those in country music, like those '90s jams.
Yeah, man.
More of those today. Now, a couple of weeks after your debut EP came out, back on July 23rd, talk a little bit about the excitement on that too. I mean, it took so long to get out there, all the process behind it. Just what was it like for you?
Yeah, I've been in Nashville the last 4 years, and it's a big build up to it. I came here after Idol and wanted to do it right, and start from the ground floor. So, man, it's crazy. It's just crazy that it's out there. It's been so long coming, and even last year, we were pretty much done cutting by March and June of last year, and I couldn't do anything with it because we're sitting in COVID, and you can't go out there and tour and promote the record. So, looking back on it, it was kind of a blessing. I even got to sit back even more and kind of, go back home to Texas and really, spend some time with friends, and just be even more ready to get it out there, and excited to get out there on the road.
Yep. Now, I thought that you could give a little description of each song from the record. So we got 5 songs on it. I thought if you could describe each song with one sentence. So I'll go in order for anyone who hasn't heard it yet. So let's start with the classic one, the love song. How would you describe "She" in one sentence?
Oh, "She." That one's you grab your honey and hold her close. That's what I would say, man. It's good. You can slow dance to it. Just grab your honey and hold her close.
That's a good way to put it. How about "Don't Look Down"?
If you don't have a honey, just dream about having a honey, I guess.
How about "Don't Look Down"?
Oh, "Don't Look Down," man. Man, how would I describe "Don't Look Down"? I would just probably say three. I'm gonna say 3 names that just influenced it. I'd say Roy Orbison, Elvis, George Strait.
Okay.
Just put all those together. That's what I tried to make "Don't Look Down."
Hey, if you put those 3 names together, I think everybody's gonna want to give it a listen.
There you go.
So that's a perfect way to describe it. Next one. How about "Kiss Goodbye All Night"?
"Kiss Goodbye All Night." Well, I'd really say, me and Brandon Hood are really big Shania Twain fans, so we love those records. When I just say we were trying to write a Shania Twain song, essentially. Just that kind of shuffly, those good. We call it the Shania shuffle. I guess, we were trying to write a Shania Twain song.
Hey, us guys don't like to really admit it, though. We still do songs.
Oh yeah, man. I will get really pumped to some Shania.
Oh, me too. I know a lot of people that will too. How about "Sounds Like Something I Do"?
I got 2 words for that one. That one is a barn burner.
Exactly. Perfect way to put it again.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, "Over Drinking, Underthinking."
All right. 2 words again. Honky tonkin'.
I like it. Now, out of those 5 songs, do you have a particular favorite?
Oh, man, I don't know. "Don't Look Down" is fun to sing live. It's got that kind of range to it, and my band plays it so well. It's probably one of my favorites to sing live. And I really don't. It sounds like something I do is great live too. We usually close the show with it and just end on a high note. So, man, but the good thing about this EP and the way we chose songs for it is there's a little taste of everything, right? You have the slower songs, you have the ballads, you have the love songs, you have the barn burners, you have the honky tonkers, something you can two step to, or you have stuff like Kiss Goodbye All Night that's just got a good little feel to it and a good rhythm. So I just try to put a little bit of everything on there.
Oh yeah, it's the perfect mix. I think in my mind, the perfect record, like you said, is a mix of everything.
Absolutely.
The love song, the slow song, the fast song, the song that makes you want to get up and dance.
Yeah, man.
But now you've been performing a lot, and you just mentioned a couple songs that you like to perform live off of your EP. What are some other songs that you like to cover live?
Oh man, well we have a rocking version of Trouble, really close to. I mean, we pretty much copied Travis Tritt's version of that. I love that version. Elvis also did one back in the day. Covered, originally really did that song, and we do that. I have a great version of Baby Let's Play House. I got to leave a little ode to Elvis in there. The band is hot on that one. Eastbound and Down's a fun one that's going over well. And then John Anderson's Swinging. We've got that one going, man. That one's fun.
Yeah, I mean, they all sound like fun songs to perform. And even for me and everybody else that's a concert goer, it's fun to watch you perform. Now, before we go, what's next for you? Do you have any music videos planned for any of the 5 songs?
Yeah, man, we've got some music videos. They're shot, and we're just waiting for the right time to release them. They're really we did something really completely different with these. I can't give away too much right now, but we try to just really really just be different from the pack and try to do something crazy. So we definitely did, and so those will be coming out shortly. But now we're focused on getting on the road. I want to get out there and see as many people as possible. Hopefully this year we'll be able to do that. We're starting to see a little bit, a little more blowback from COVID. So I hope that that stuff gets figured out and we can go out there, because man, just getting a taste of it this last month or so, a couple months of getting out there on the road and playing these songs for people and seeing people's reaction, and kind of getting some of that, you've worked so hard on these songs and finally see people singing along to them is just awesome. So that's where my focus is right now. And I'm always writing.
Oh yeah.
I was just in the studio yesterday, cutting demos. So always writing and working on that next record, man. So.
Hey, that's awesome. Now, all you guys out there watching this, make sure to stay tuned for some announcements on the music video from Drake. Get ready to go see him in concert, because just waiting for all the health guidelines. Hopefully it can get back out there soon to everyone throughout the country. If you're down in Tennessee and Georgia area, Drake's been performing there. So make sure to stop by and see him, because you're not going to want to miss the show. Great performer live.
Oh, thank you, Tyler.
Of course. Now, Drake, thank you so much for joining me. It's great to have you on.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Like I said, everybody out there watching this, make sure go stream Drake's EP, and also go download and stream his first cut as a songwriter, Record High. It's a jam. It's going to make you want to dance.
Yeah, man.
Go follow Drake on Instagram, TikTok, rest of his social media platforms. And again, Drake, thank you again. Until next time, guys.
Absolutely.